studios of WCTV, this is Eyewitness News. With Frank Ranicky and Carmen Cummings.
We have that tape on 4.
Sports with Scott Atwell. And weather with meteorologist Mike Rucker. This is Eyewitness News at 6.
Good evening, everyone. Tallahassee Police and Leon County Sheriff's deputies are continuing a manhunt at this hour.
Officials say a suspect injured a police officer, then took his handgun and radio. Police are searching for him in the woods near Park Avenue and Weatherbine, where he fled after assaulting the officer. Eyewitness News reporter Julie Montanaro is on the scene and joins us now live by phone. Julie?
Yeah, Frank and Carmen, I arrived here about 20 minutes ago. Getting here was a battle in itself. Traffic on Capitol Circle is horrendous. But police have completely closed Park Avenue all the way from Capitol Circle down to Victory Garden Drive. So none of the residents are being allowed in at this point. Most of them are standing out in the parking lot in the Food Lion Shopping Center. And they're saying for people inside the perimeter, those that live along Park Avenue between Capitol Circle and Victory Garden Drive, please do not leave your homes. Lock your door and stay inside, and please don't attempt to leave. They say it's safest that way. Now let me fill you in on what's happening. About 3 o'clock this afternoon, police were called to a residence on Boardwalk Lane. Somebody said somebody was trying to break into his house. Well, police got there and began chasing this man in the woods down behind Weatherbine at the bottom of the hill. One officer pretty much had him cornered and had him tracked down. That's when the suspect turned on the officer. He attacked him. He grabbed his gun. He took his radio, and he pretty severely beat this officer. He is in stable condition at the hospital right now. The manhunt is continuing full force. Every officer that's available is here. The TAC team is here. The dogs are here. The helicopters are here. And authorities are really hoping that this is going to be resolved by dark. They're getting the lights and such ready just in case, but they're hoping it's not going to come to that, because once they have to battle darkness, that can get pretty scary.
Okay, Julie, quickly, do you have any idea of a suspect, any description?
We really don't know who we are looking for. The only description we have, he's a black man, about 5 feet 8 inches tall. He's got a real muscular build and a mustache. And he was last seen wearing a pair of blue shorts. That's the basic description.
Okay, thanks, Julie. Eyewitness News reporter Julie Montanaro live, and we will have more details on this story tonight at 11.
The death of a former South Georgia sheriff is under investigation tonight. The former sheriff of Atkinson County, who was to stand trial.
It takes 2 cops to turn up the heat.
Possession of crack cocaine.
He's a witness. And fight to take back the night.
You got anything?
Carol O'Connor.
We gotta get him. Yeah.
Howard Rollins.
They're setting us up.
In the Heat of the Night. Premieres after the World Series.
This is CBS.
Good evening, I'm Tammy Watford.
And I'm Frank Ranicky. Just ahead on Eyewitness News at 11. A manhunt continues at this hour on Tallahassee's east side for an armed burglary suspect.
And Democratic Vice Presidential candidate Al Gore is on his way to Tallahassee. Mike?
And I have a weekend forecast that includes partly this and partly that.
And Don Evans, of course, highlights another big Friday night of high school football.
Eyewitness News next.
A nation's business is a nation's strength. A fact best understood by a bank that grew strong with the industry of Georgia and Texas, Florida and the Carolinas, in the ports from Norfolk to Tampa to Houston, and with the businesses large and small of a nation, became Nations Bank. A bank that brings aggressive business lending to a local level, with over 2,000 locations that provide even the smallest business access to the largest resources. A bank that measures its strength by the strength of every business it serves, from Baltimore to Miami to El Paso. It's no wonder a bank that grew strong with the nation's business would today be called Nations Bank.
Look to us, WCTV, Channel 6. Live from the studios of WCTV, this is Eyewitness News. With Frank Ranicky and Tammy Watford.
We have that tape on 4.
Sports with Randy Rudis. And weather with meteorologist Mike Rucker. This is Eyewitness News at 11.
Good evening, everyone. Tallahassee police continue the hunt at this hour for a man who severely beat a police officer today and stole his handgun and radio.
Authorities have called out K-9 patrols, helicopter search squads, and now high-tech night equipment. Eyewitness News reporter Robert Burns has the first report from the search scene.
Tallahassee police enter the 9th hour of an extensive manhunt. It all started this afternoon when an unidentified black male attempted to break into an occupied apartment. The resident dialed 911.
I was scared because I didn't know if he was armed, because I felt like if he came in and saw me, he might freak out and shoot me or something. And I didn't want that to happen.
A patrol car was on the scene in minutes.
One of our officers did encounter the suspect, who was able to overpower the officer and take his gun and his police radio. He was injured in the course of that struggle.
Backup sped to the scene, organizing a search pattern, warning entire blocks of apartment dwellers, and taking pains to inspect each vehicle before it left the heavily wooded neighborhood.
And we know that this suspect is armed. We know that he's willing to attack a police officer, so we're also very concerned for the residents of this area.
But then with failing light and weary tracking dogs, police are having to change their strategy.
We have very advanced night scope capabilities that our TAC team is able to employ. So we're confident that just because nightfall comes that we will not call off the search. It will just be beginning for us.
Dogs and searchers are beginning to tire. But a police officer was attacked in the line of duty, and authorities vow they'll hunt until they find their comrade's attacker. Robert Burns, Channel 6 Eyewitness News, Tallahassee.
This is Julie Montanaro. In the shadow of the TAC team headquarters, hundreds of residents sit, stand, arms crossed, waiting for police to tell them they can go home.
Well, I just think it's a real inconvenience. I want to go home and I can't.
Well, we might go out and have a bite to eat in a little while. It's we're kind of getting hungry here.
We're here visiting and got caught in this. Just like I said, it's a bad situation. We're just trying to do the best we can.
My daughter's getting married tomorrow morning, and she's at my place on Dawn Lauren with the center of activity. The rest of the wedding party is over on Appalachian Boulevard. They can't get together.
Corner businesses offered phone calls to those wanting to contact friends and family inside the perimeter, but after hours, many just stayed around to watch.
Yeah, because they're so excited out here, and everybody's watching the police. There's so many lights and everything.
The area was cordoned off just as the Friday rush hour began. Neighborhoods on this stretch of road are basically duplex after duplex. So you're talking about a lot of folks waiting on the perimeter. Julie Montanaro, Channel 6 Eyewitness News, Tallahassee.
Within the last hour, residents have been allowed back into their homes. Authorities are escorting them and are encouraging residents to stay inside with the doors locked.
A Gainesville, Florida judge has been